Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to
Whoa.
Well, that
this
is
is
next level.
Yeah, right. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with Colin. Colin, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
You seem a little shocked, but
That was
and I'm here
surprising.
with Scott. Scott, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks.
Good, man. Happy to hear that. And we are here to talk about hopefully a fantastic, dare I say, a spectacular or amazing movie. Wink. In
Oh.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. I know. Thank you. But I just gotta say right now, if you guys have listened to the last couple recordings I've posted, and I'll get the last couple up here for the Spider-Man series. I think the Spider-Man films, for the most part, have been pretty disappointing outside of Spider-Man 1. They should be a lot better than they are, and they just have not found a way to really make these movies as good as, you know, things like the Avengers, the Captain America
What could be
movies. I
better
gotta
about
say,
them, Hunter?
well, maybe they could make Spider-Man look like he's actually, 14 or 15. Maybe,
Fair.
maybe they could have a Spider-Man who actually is a nerd, which they haven't really done either.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have a
Fair.
Spider-Man who has the thing about Spider-Man that's made him so endearing is that his life can just be super shitty and he's just like struggling through everything. But when he puts on that costume, there's a genuine joy that he expresses. And the other films really haven't captured that the way I would like until this one. Because I'll say it right now, this is the best goddamn Spider-Man film they've ever put out. Fight me, people, because I know you'll say Spider-Man 2 is the best one. It's not the best one. It's not even close to the best one. So the Amazing Spider-Man is probably better than Spider-Man 2. I love this movie. This was my baby driver. I left this theater just with a bounce in my step. You remember that Chappelle Show skit where he's working for Whack Arnold's the first day and he's
Yeah.
like dancing because he got a job. That's how I left the theater. I was like, yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Just love that shit. So yeah, Scott, what do you think
I
about this?
couldn't agree more with you, Hunter. Best Spider-Man movie they've put out so far. Like, I actually really enjoyed. Um, Garfield was his first name. Uh, Andrew
Garfield.
Garfield. Thank you. I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man, and I know you guys weren't huge fans of it. But
I like the first one.
yeah, you guys weren't a huge fan of the second one. I actually liked both of those, and to be honest, I even kind of liked. I rewatched the third Spider-Man,
Uh-oh.
and
Oh
it is a
God.
horrible movie, but
Okay, that's good.
Tobey Maguire is the only thing I liked about it, just because I feel like he fits that like really naive kind of like character that I picture Spider-Man as, and
Yeah.
I think they stepped it up with this new movie. Like, I love the main character, and I feel like he fits perfectly in with this story. Another thing that I know is a gripe for you, Hunter, that you wish that they would change is the origin stories. And
Good God,
like,
yes.
this was such a cool intro, not only to his character, but to be like, hey, you can make a badass superhero movie, but also not feel like you have to include the origin story. But yeah, I think just overall there's a lot of things I liked about it, and I feel like Marvel they did it again. I mean, like, come on,
Yeah.
it's just not fair these days. Like, they must have this formula, and they plug in all the information, and the actors pop out the other side, and the director. I had a just like in the last movie we reviewed, Baby Driver. I had a lot of fun, and I think that's what these Spider-Man movies should be, is fun,
I
and
agree.
I think it fit the bill.
Colin, your thoughts, man.
So Sony had the rights to Spider-Man before they finally like gave in to Marvel Studios, right?
Yeah, they did 5 Spider-Man films
So all those were
forward.
Sony, and then this one is like a collaboration on
Correct.
paper of Marvel Studios and Sony.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Marvel Studios they're just smarter than everybody, maybe. Like, I don't know, they might just be better than every other studio trying to make superhero films. Like, with a few exceptions, like Deadpool and like Logan was good. There's some other ones, but Marvel Studio, they just turn out good movies. Yeah, man, this was awesome. It was good. It was really, really good. Um,
I'll be honest. I cried. I genuinely cried at a point
mhm.
because let me kind of describe how I feel about these movies since Spider-Man's been my favorite superhero since I was 5 years old. I have never wavered on that, especially what they've done with Miles Morales. Which there's a Miles Morales reference in this movie. Oh my god! But anyways, we'll get to that. It's Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero since I was so young, and I've grown up with the character. I've seen him at his best and at his worst, and I love the character. And I think the fact that this is a sixth Spider-Man movie and it took him 6 times to get this shit right, I think speaks volumes to how the character's been treated. But Tom Holland, man, another fucking Brit getting a chance to be Spider-Man, and I totally forget he's a Brit because he that American accent it
Mhm.
works for him. I love this movie. Everything about it from the this is a John Hughes film. This is Pretty in Pink. This is 16 Candles, mixed with a superhero movie, and it's crazy how it blends together. Colin, I know you're a fan of 80s movies like that. Like, how did you kind of feel about that aspect of it?
I thought it was perfect. I mean, I thought I mean that's a perfect way to sum it up. It's kind of like that that Pretty in Pink type of that movie. Um, like honestly, like the story's great. Like the way it goes through like his journey in high school. It's a lot different than what they've done in the past.
Yeah, because they never spent time with him in high school. I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man it does, but there's a lot of him out, other places. You never really get a feel like he's actually in fucking high school. So casting someone who's 18 and Tom Holland and making him young, making him he looks like he's 14. He could pass for 14 very
Isn't he like
easily,
actually like
and
20?
he's 18
18, okay.
actually. Yeah. So I mean, it works, to see. So a lot of the points where he's in peril, you feel a lot more for it because he looks like he's in high school. He looks like he's 14, 15, which is what the movie says he is. So let's just kind of jump in here. So Tom Holland plays Peter Parker, who of course uh, moonlights or spider lights, if you will, as a Spider-Man. I know, terrible joke, but I stand by it. God damn it! But he's riding off that wave of Civil War, but Stark, played by Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr. is like, hey, we'll get back to you when we need your help or whatever. So he's really doing just more blue collar crime, people stealing bikes and shit. But then when Adrian Toomes, played by Michael Keaton, not playing Birdman, but close enough in The Vulture, uh, threatens the city, it's really about Spider-Man stepping in, saving the day. And I just gotta say, uh, Tom Holland was great. I thought Michael Keaton was a genuine fucking find. I was like, oh my god, he's such a and I'll tell you right now, he's not like this in the comics. Like he's more of a nuisance most of the time than anything. But Michael Keaton made him feel credible. And there's this point where they have this conversation in the car, and oh my
Oh,
god,
so good.
it's one of the most tense scenes I've seen in the movie
Yeah,
all year. I
so
was like,
good.
god damn, it's fantastic. Yeah, Scott, kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it fit perfectly because the whole time, like they're being introduced, you're not really sure who, like, if they've caught on to each other or if Michael Keaton realizes that he is Spider-Man. But yeah, just the fact of it being like, I don't know if it was prom or was it homecoming? Is that what it was?
Homecoming,
Yeah,
Homecoming,
yeah.
yeah.
figures. Just the fact that it was like one of those high school dances, and it's already awkward. Like you're taken back there, and you're like that. This is the whole thing is awkward, and yeah, just that intense scene was awesome.
Yeah, his friends were
Yeah.
like I thought his friends were a highlight of the movie as well. Like his
Hmm.
the like there was the girl that's like basically kind of like in the background most of the time, but whenever she shows up, she's hilarious. And then
Zendaya.
yeah,
Who played
and then
Michelle.
the dude that plays his best friend, I thought he was great. What was his name?
Jacob Batalon, who played Ned.
Yeah, they were great. What did you think of them, Hunter?
So Ned Leeds is the name of the character, but he's very much borrowed from the other Spider-Man in the comics, and we'll get to that. He was fantastic, and this was the first movie it made Spider-Man feel like a nerd,
Mhm.
which I love, because there's a point where they go, hey, let's build our Lego Death Star.
I'm also glad that
and
they let him in on. Just sorry to jump in, but I'm glad they let him in
Yeah, go ahead.
on his secret, like kind of earlier on. Like I appreciated that it wasn't constantly
Well,
trying to hide it from people.
that's one thing about Spider-Man is that maybe so more than any other comic book character, he just struggles to try to hide that because he has to change in alleys and shit, and like people, it's always kind of a joke in the comics. So I appreciate that they had his best friend find out, and then I'll just say the last frame of the movie, no spoiler, it's fucking amazing. The way the movie ends, I went, like I was I was very happy with that. So I gotta jump in here to something else I love. Donald Glover,
Yes.
Childish Gambino, one of my favorites. So he plays oh my god, why am I blanking on the character's name? Aaron Davis.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you who's this Aaron Davis guy?
So the reason why that's so interesting is with Aaron Davis is the uncle of Miles Morales, who's the half black, half Latino Spider-Man in the comics currently. And so when he says he has a nephew uptown, he's referring to Miles Morales.
Gotcha.
And in this new in an interview with Kevin Feige about a week and a half ago, he had confirmed, Miles Morales is in the universe, in our universe.
Right.
So Tom Holland has already said he's would love to pass the mantle down to Miles Morales, and I say yes, please do that because I want to see Miles Morales. So that was a I marked, to quote a wrestling term, I marked the fuck out when I saw that. So I was very happy to see that. This movie is just one thing I do appreciate about this. Even as a kid, I always thought, well, he's in New York, he's around a lot of tall buildings, but what would happen if he's not around a lot of tall
Thank you.
buildings?
I'm glad you bring that up.
And this movie really answers that, and it's really fucking funny the way they address it, because there are times he just has to run really fast until he gets to another building so he can web up somewhere, and he's like, God damn it, I hate having to run. And it's one of those things where when you think about it more, you go, yeah, New York has a lot of tall buildings, but there's green areas where there's not a lot of skyscrapers and shit. What would you do? And it's amazing. I thought that was a joke in itself that really made me laugh really hard. Scott, kind of your thoughts?
Yeah, I remember watching him just kind of web sling through a neighborhood and like from tree to tree, and then he gets to a point where he's so far in the suburbs that like he just has to run for a while. And I totally agree. It was hilarious, nice little bit that they threw in there. But yeah, like Colin was saying, the supporting cast here was excellent. Ned was a great kind of sidekick, and the nerdiness really kind of put it over the top. The whole like naivete of the situation, these two kids basically, was really made it kind of a sweet movie. And the movie begins of him kind of making his own little movie, and it's a little bit adorable in the way that he's like super excited about like him fighting with the Avengers and kind of recalling like what happened, and it was super like really funny and kind of a cute little bit there. But yeah, I mean, just through and through, even when the action scenes came, I liked them. I think I maybe would want to see a little bit more of that if I had to gripe about it, but I don't know. They explained a lot, like the suit. I'm glad they explained that, and I like the connection with Iron Man and Tony Stark, and it being like his suit and stuff. So I really like that new aspect of Spider-Man.
So before I throw it to Colin real quick, I just want to say that was something even as a kid I just never kind of went, okay, that's a little weird. That Spider-Man could have this incredibly fancy suit, work as a high schooler, and the movie does a good job explaining it. And the suit's AI, the voice is Jennifer Connelly. Because I was sitting there thinking, God, that suit's voice is really sexy. Who could that be? And it's like, oh, Jennifer Connelly. That makes sense. Um, there's a lot of humor with the suit. How the suit always wants to go into instant kill, I thought was really fucking funny. Um, but yeah, this movie, the thing I found so fun and interesting about it is that um, not only does it kind of take a loving pokes kind of at the Spider-Man lore, but that he's a kid, he's 14, 15, pardon me. He fucks up a lot in this movie. This isn't a Spider-Man, like in his college years where he's a lot more established, gets the job a lot better. This is him at his, at his youngest, and he just doesn't know what he's always fucking doing. And the movie has a lot of fun with that, and I really enjoyed that. Colin, kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I I was just gonna say that I thought the best character was Captain America. After the credits, when he told everybody that they wasted their time sitting there and waiting for a sneak peek preview.
Yeah, I mean, I, I I gotta admit, I thought that was troll level to just the best way. I was like, "Wow, Marvel, you mother!" And I kind of got mad for a second. It's like, "You motherfucker, you
Yeah.
just couldn't let
But
me."
we got to see
like,
Chris
you,
Evans, and he's a great man. What didn't he have his beard though?
he did,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
No,
so that was the
I think
thing
it was
I heard
clean, wasn't
from today. By the way, I was reading D23 stuff, and I heard
it?
that
Yeah, me
in
too.
the new like footage for Infinity Wars, Captain America has a beard. So like that was like the big, I think, reveal was that Captain America has a beard now.
Well, I feel like Chris Evans can pull off whatever he wants, so I'm totally okay with that.
I agree.
I will say about this movie, I thought the Vulture was actually terrifying, and they made you actually sympathize with him. I was actually pretty surprised in the way that he gives a speech to Peter Parker towards the end of the movie, and the thing is, he's not wrong really anything he's saying. He's totally right. He just kind of goes like, they don't really give a damn about us. I went, well, he's not 100% wrong in saying that. It's pretty crazy, honestly. And I thought the fight scenes, I think that if there's a complaint, it's that there's nothing as cool as a fight scene as he has in Civil War. There's just nothing that great about it. But I thought that there's a fight, not a fight scene, but there's an action scene with him at the Washington Monument that I thought was so well handled, and the, even the last fight scene I was really a fan of. So there's so much to like here and so much to love. Um, I just want to give a quick shout out to Marissa Tomei, who still looks fine as hell playing Aunt May, and I actually,
I
I'm
hope she hears
just
you
throwing
and
it out there.
she would be so like complimented to hear you say it that way.
I hope she does. Marissa, let me buy you a drink, please. But
Seriously,
she,
let him.
she yeah, just
You'll have a
throwing it
good
out there.
time.
Hey, yeah, you want a drink, right? But she's amazing in this, and it's a funny ongoing joke that pretty much everywhere her and Peter go, everyone's like, oh hey, here's a free drink, or hey, these noodles are free, or rice, or whatever the fuck. Like everyone is so nice to her, and even Tony Stark, who's such a dickhead, is like, oh hey Aunt May, what are you wearing right now? I hope it's something like scandalous. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like Peter's right there, and and Tony Stark just could give a fuck about it. But it's it's a funny joke, and honestly, I think out of all the Spider-Man movies, this is the best chemistry that an Aunt May has had with Peter
I like
Parker,
the
and
John
they're
Favreau's character too, Happy Hogan.
yeah. Oh yeah, Jon Favreau. This is probably the most happy he's ever had to do. He's just super annoyed with Spider-Man, and that in itself is really funny. He just kind of goes, "Leave me alone. Why are you talking to me?" And whenever he calls, he's like, God damn it, he is genuinely
Yeah.
irritated by Peter Parker, and it leads to some really funny fucking jokes. But I think what made me so happy about Happy is that when Jon Favreau kind of needs to turn a switch a little bit and be a nicer, a nicer Happy Hogan, uh, it it works really well, and the humor between him and Tony Stark, it's been there, it's still there, it's really funny. Just to kind of get to final thoughts here, I love the way the suit looks on screen.
Yeah.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best Spider-Man suit that they've had. I love the way the score works. The way the movie fucking starts is a
Marvel's so
revamped
good.
version of the old school Spider-Man theme, and I'll tell you right now,
Awesome.
I was. My pants were feeling a little tired just after that theme. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, oh, that's so good. And and this
For sure.
sets up the end credit scene sets up a villain that I've actually wanted to see them do with Spider-Man. So I'm very curious, and hope maybe we get J. Jonah, maybe get the Daily Bugle,
Hmm.
maybe we get
Fingers crossed.
yeah, maybe we get J. Jonah Jameson. I'm psyched
Ooh.
for the next movie. It's gonna be so good. I will say my favorite film race got a lot tighter. This is a fan fucking tastic to me. This is the best Spider-Man film by a almost laughable margin as far as it being the best one. It's wonderful in every way you'd want it to be. The Vulture is terrifying. They had the Shocker in there. They had two versions of the Shocker, which I thought worked really well. Michael Keaton's great. Robert Downey Jr. I will say just before I throw it to Scott, real quick, just one last thing. I was really concerned, and me and Scott mostly talked about it, about Robert Downey Jr. encompassing the movie. He doesn't. They use him just the perfect amount, and there is a nerd reference to an alternate Spider-Man costume that I'm not gonna lie, I grabbed the seat in front of me. I was like, oh my god, I've wanted to see it for so long. Like I was losing my mind. So, yeah, Scott, fan fucking tastic for me. Scott, your thoughts and your grade, sir.
Um, I think that, yeah, like I said before, going into it, I wanted it to be fun, and I feel like if they made this one super dark, it wouldn't fit. Um, I'm just kind of glad that they went the way that they went. The casting was on point. Like the action was great. I got to see through little Donald Glover in there. No one's gonna whine about that. It was just a well-rounded movie, um, and I think it's gonna be up there battling for uh, best movie of the summer, if not, best of the
Ooh.
year. But ooh, I gotta give this one an A+.
You son of a bitch. I'm sorry. Gosh damn it.
I loved
You
it. I
couldn't.
loved it.
Oh, couldn't go fan fucking that. You damn it.
Turn your
Okay.
attention to Colin.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want you to get there with me, Scott. We rarely agree. I thought this was
We've
gonna be
been
one.
agreeing lately. I will say that, but an A+
Okay,
is
that's
not that far away from a fan of Fantastic. Let's be honest.
fair enough. Fair enough. Colin, my friend, your thoughts, fan fucking desk, and your grade, sir.
So, I'll say this. I'll say that this is the best Spider-Man movie that's ever been made. So that's already like that's awesome because I
Yeah.
really really like the first Spider-Man. Like that holds like a dear memory of me going to the theater as a young
Me
kid
too.
and watching that like in person. And I remember having a great time. I was like, this is so amazing. Like it's like I'm seeing Spider-Man. He's doing all this. He's fighting, Green Goblin, and there's. It was one of the big, comic book movies before comic book movies were such a norm. So
Yeah.
to say that this one is better than that, like that's a lot from me. I think because this movie's really really good. I think it gets a lot of things already going for it before it even exists. Is that it's in the Marvel universe now, part of this like stage 3 or phase 3. that's going on. So people are already excited for it, of course, but it like takes that responsibility and it just runs with it, and it does a great job. So like automatically I'm excited for it because I already saw what happened with Civil War and I got to see this Spider-Man and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see more of this story. It also gets the benefit that it just gets the everybody is just like on page with the origin of Spider-Man at this point. Like we all saw it in two different film series. Like the Amazing Spider-Man, they showed Uncle Ben dying. The very first Spider-Man, they showed Uncle Ben dying. This one's just like, we're all up to speed. Let's just go, which is the correct decision. I know you voiced your opinion on that, Hunter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. So that's the right way to go. So I think that's awesome. And dude, Tom Holland is amazing. Like as Peter Parker, specifically as Peter Parker in high school. Like he's totally likable, believable. It's awesome. Michael Keaton does a great job. I keep wanting to call him Birdman because he was Birdman in the movie Birdman. But as the Vulture, dude, he's great. Everybody's in it is awesome. So I mean, you're gonna hate me, but the only reason this gets an A+ and not a fan-fucking-tastic is because I'm only going to give Baby Driver a fan-fucking-tastic this week.
God,
yeah,
and
you shouldn't have us watch those ones.
And this movie is tied for second place with an A+ with the other movie we're gonna.
Yeah, man.
But the only fan-fucking-tastic is Baby Driver. I'm so sorry, Spider-Man: Homecoming. You're an A+ though. A+. Great one, Marvel. I love you.
Damn it all. So sad. I'm so depressed. Anyways, but guys, don't listen to Scott and Colin.
Whatever.
Wrong.
No, you're wrong.
This is a fan-fucking-tastic. God, you know what's funny when Colin started talking.
Man, your opinion matters more.
No, not true. Like the thing is, I went back and forth with this between this or Guardians being my favorite comic book movie of the year, and so far this is it. It's so goddamn good, and I left the theater feeling better about Spider-Man, and that's the first time I felt like that.
Such a good feeling.
So
yeah, I said it was my favorite Spider-Man. It's better than every other Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Even Spider-Man 3.
That's as good a review as anyone could have ever wanted, right?
Yeah, good.
Best Spider-Man.
Take your A+ and end it, Hunter.
Yeah, so I will say this was a fan-fucking-tastic for me.
Yeah, we know.
I just gotta say it again. I loved it. I'm sorry. I left that theater. I've seen it 3 times already. I love this movie. The one last thing I want to shout out is Tony. I'm gonna butcher your name.
Stark.
I'm so sorry. No, yeah, I'm gonna butcher his name. Stark. Revelori. He was in, of course, the Great Grand Budapest Hotel. He played the main, the guy at the desk. And
oh yeah, that guy.
Dope too. Yeah. His interpretation of Flash Thompson.
Yeah, it's Tony Revolori. That's a fucking fantastic name. Yeah, but he was the lobby boy in Grand Budapest Hotel. He was incredible. I remember like watching him. I was like, I love that guy's like the bully in school. Is the fucking Grand Budapest Hotel lobby boy.
Yeah, I thought he was great as Flash Thompson.
He was great.
And yeah, the girl who plays Michelle, Zendaya, she was funny. She's like that. She's that hipster girl who thinks she's too cool for school but makes fun of you for liking things that are like trending. It's quite fascinating, and it's cool to see who these characters end up playing. The fact that Zendaya ends up playing who she ends up playing, I thought is really awesome and leads to an interesting dynamic going forward. I just adore this movie. So yeah, fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah, Scott and Colin got an A+. But anyways, guys, have you seen Spider-Man 3? Spider-Man 3, good God.
Spider-Man 3? Whoa!
Yeah, have you seen
Topher Grace and
don't see Spider-Man
today.
don't see Spider-Man 3. Please don't do that to yourself. Have you seen Spider-Man Homecoming yet? Pardon me. Let us know in the comments below. We're now on Podbean as well at The Real Pineapple. You can follow us here on SoundCloud at the soundcloud.com/realpineapple775. Follow yours truly on the Twitter at jhunterrealpineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter
Name
at
the first.
and you can like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple and follow Colin on Twitter at
Real O'Neal.
Guys, thank you so much. We'll have a review up this week for The Big Stick. I know it's a really weird title, but some others and Inconceivable, the new Nicolas Cage movie, which I'm so excited to talk to you guys about. You don't even.
Do I have to
You
pay
don't
for this
understand,
one? Does
Scott.
this require money?
Honestly, if you're listening to this now, you need to watch this movie too, so you can appreciate what we're going to talk about when we like. Everyone listening now needs to watch this movie because we're going to watch it and let's all have fun and make fun of it.
Yeah. Oh, what are you saying? It's not going to be good?
Hunter.
It's a Nicolas Cage movie. All right, fair. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I'll tell you right now, there's nothing can do to redeem itself to be good. But guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.